Hello guys, welcome to our first Town of Salem tutorial. For the purposes of these tutorials, we've been looking at ranked and ranked practice as well as classic, potentially, but not all any, or Coven. For those of you who are new, Town of Salem is a social deduction game in which you have to find the evils hidden amongst the town. Here is a list of each role, and there are corresponding factions that can be found in ranked and ranked practice. The town is made up of 4 parts: investigative, protective, killing, and support. Mafia is also made up of several parts: killing, deception, and support. Neutral evils do what they want in order to confirm and confuse townies. However, it must be noted that the witch will never side with town. The first tutorial we'll be looking at is the sheriff. The sheriff's goal is to lynch every criminal and evildoer. You may interrogate one person each night for suspicious activity. You will know if your target is suspicious. As a visiting role, it's important that you note who you are going to interrogate at night. Therefore, if you die to a veteran, town knows who the veteran is. At the end of the night, you will receive feedback of whether or not your target is suspicious. If they're suspicious, you may put susp in your will. If they're innocent, make sure you put inno or innocent. Using phrases such as not suspicious will put suspicion on you, as it is not what it gives you, and a lot of the time evils use not suspicious to cover their own tracks. Aggressive towns may push a sheriff who finds NS or not suspicious people over those who find innocent people. As a town investigative, it's very important for you to share information with the town, be it at your own life's risk. Information that you withhold is dangerous. If there is a janitor in the game or a forger, the information you have gathered is at risk of being lost. Therefore, you should post daily with all your information. Is the list do's and don'ts for Night 1 sheriffs. Number 1, do not check the jailer claim. This happens far too often and often leads to the sheriff being hanged. Number 2, do check who spoke day 1 and avoid visiting them, regardless of whether or not they are the first or last person to talk. Number 3, try and pick somebody who has a normal name. If you pick somebody who has an odd name, the chances are, if there is a framer in the game, the framer will indeed frame them. With the knowledge you obtain, you are able to share information with a spy and an investigator. For example, if someone has been visited by a member of the Mafia and has come up as suspicious, the chances are that there is indeed a framer in the game. However, if they come up as innocent, you may be dealing with a disguiser or a townie. Always be careful with who you accuse. Working with an investigator is a good way of narrowing down who is a vigilante and who is a mafioso. For example, the investigator may see that they come up as Vig, Vet, Math or Ambusher. However, you can determine whether or not this is indeed town or evil using the filter. Using the chat filter is a very useful way of finding evil people who are hiding in the town, mostly because of their silence. To do this at night, pull up the chat log and you may go to the filter. You can scroll down the list until you find a player who you believe is quiet and still alive. You may check what they have said. If they have not contributed very much, then they are usually a safe person to check. Finding evils amongst the voters. As you can see here, we have decided to vote up 4. Throughout the list, we see several names come forward. However, we also have to remember there is a mayor in our game. Therefore, the voting reads might be a bit skewed. But from this list, you can see I have voted, 15 has voted, 8 has voted, 11 has voted, 9 has voted. Amongst these votes, we get a lot of information. The mayor didn't vote up 4. Therefore, we know there are 2 evils amongst those votes. One person did not vote for this. That person is number 5. Number 5 claims lookout. We asked them for their will. We know they are evil because the mayor was transported Night 1. Power of deduction. Now that all of the evils who can be found through suspicion are out of the way, we can still find the last evil. And the way we find the last evil is by discussing things with our jailer. We know that 11 was in jail despite the mafioso dying. Therefore, they cannot be the godfather. With this information and knowing that we are a confirmed sheriff who has found at least one evil, we then start to ask the question, who could it be? 15 is the jailer. 11 was in jail that night. Therefore, there's only one person it can be, considering 9 just got voted guilty on and lynched as mafia. It has to be 8. I hope the basic explanations here were of use to you all. Now, shall we see the game in full swing and see how it worked out? Here we are. So as the sheriff, we're going to set up our will immediately. 13 has left. No one has called TPLO just yet, so we can do it. Do not be afraid to claim TPLO as sheriff. Now, we've got a mayor reveal, so mayor is now going to take priority. We also now know who the jailer is. We can now dictate to town what to do. While this puts our life in risk, we also are temporarily vet baiting. We've been jailed, so we're going to claim to the jailer. We're going to reinforce the fact that we did claim TI Day 1. By doing this, we defend ourselves against future accusations. Bearing in mind, sheriff is still a very common executioner claim in ranked practice and lower levels in ranked. We will be filling in our will as we are in jail. We can't do very much tonight, but that might come and help us a bit later on. So, we know there's a mayor. We will insert ourselves into the will in a moment. We now know what Random Town 1 is, which is Ginger, who is a transporter. We fill in the fact that we are TI1, Sheriff. We know that there was an ambusher now on either Ferret or UFC. Lydia died. They was a lookout, so we can put that they are a lookout in our will. Now we are just trying to fill in random town spots. Three is asking us for a roll. So we are going to fire the question straight back. That is because we were in jail night 1. Therefore we can sense there's going to be a push on us now. The most important thing to do is to not panic. It is likely that 3 is an executioner about to push. We speak to the jailer, and now we wait. Okay, we now ask 3 to claim. And there we have it. 3 has claimed sheriff, and they say I am suspicious. We ask them if they checked me, and they say they have. However, the jailer has my back. We simply put that we are jailed night 1. Therefore, we have outed the executioner immediately. We can now push 3, and anyone who votes me instead of 3 is confirmed evil. We also now know that there is a dead doctor, which will fill up our TP slot in our will. The executioner is going to continue his push, however, there is no way out of this. The fact that we were jailed night 1 has simply saved our life. We can now use the information that we have just received from this vote, including the fact that 9 is potentially defending this. We can be a very aggressive sheriff, claiming anyone who does not vote guilty on this could be killed by a vigilante or a jailer. We could also accuse 6 of being evil here because they voted innocent on the confirmed executioner. Pose temporarily trying to deflect suspicion off of his comment earlier. We are now confirmed town. The executioner's target is always town. Therefore, if someone claims executioner and pushes a mafia member and gets them guilty, the chances are that they are not actually executioner, and therefore should be executed immediately. Tonight we are going to be checking Poet Writer. Poet Writer didn't vote up the executioner and hasn't really spoken. In fact, they have said absolutely nothing. Deduction has also not said anything. However, because of their innocent vote, the chances are that they will be in jail tonight. I may note in my will I believe them to be evil. I can also say the same about Jokin, who also questioned my credibility. We have found a suspicious target. We whisper the jailer this as soon as possible. The jailer now has information. Deduction has been killed. They were shot by a vigilante. They are also a vigilante, so they could have shot themselves. The reason how they would have shot themselves is through a witch. However, I suspect there is a secondary vig involved, but for the sake of simplicity we put them in the DK slot. There is a second vig involved. 11 claimed lookout in jail, but wasn't on the mare. That is very interesting information for us as sheriff. The chances are they will come up as innocent if checked. However, we have important information for town. We can push 4 today as evil. We are very lucky. We are very lucky that we have a mare, otherwise we would have lost majority. We can also now watch the votes here. By watching the votes for this particular push, we can potentially see an evil, if not more than one. Five is trying to deflect the attention of a 4, which indicates that they could be evil. Basic deflections like this are something that you need to watch out for when you are playing as Town. 4 is condemned by me, the confirmed sheriff. 5 is claiming lookout, however I suspect this is not actually the case. We can push them for a will and then we can inform the jailer of their claim. If they are indeed the lookout, then they are the last random town, and then that means that 8, 9, 11 must be executed. Upon seeing this will, we know they are fake. We know they are fake because they didn't see the transporter visit the mayor night 1. We can ask them where their visits are. We know they are evil. We can tell the jailer that we know that they are evil. They are numbers. I do not believe this will. The jailer may ask us why here, however we know that this is indeed evil. We just informed the jailer that they didn't see the transporter and therefore they need to be removed. Again, disguises can mess up sheriff rules, however, the fact that we managed to find this indicates that we have a decent shot against whichever mafia remain. We inform the jailer that they have to execute tonight, otherwise we lose majority. Now we are going to search through the list. 8 hasn't really contributed too much to chat. However, they did indeed defend me against the executioner. On the other hand, 9 hasn't been assisting at all. The reason why we are going to check 9 over 11 is because 9 has said and contributed no information to town, whereas 11 may indeed be contributing in the future. 8 is potentially also another evil because they lack a claim. We have found another suspicious target. We can tell the jailer immediately. The mayor is indeed dead, which is unfortunate. My biggest question is, considering 11 has claimed lookout, are they on the jailer or are they on the mayor? It is really up to them. We have now killed the witch, so the jailer is now free to execute whoever they want. Keeping the witch alive is very dangerous for the jailer, mainly because they can stop the jailer from executing any evils throughout the whole game. It is the same as with a consort. As the confirmed sheriff, we now may push 9. 9 is condemned by us. We do indeed have majority still. Considering the fact that there is only myself and 12 as the TIs who were active, there would be very little chance that I would have been guiltied on day 2. However, there is another TICC in 11. Given the fact that 11 has been jailed by the jailer and has claimed lookout when the mafioso is dead, it confirms them as Town. We are just going to confirm this information with the jailer before we push on 8 as the final evil. Upon the confirmation being reached, we now know that the Godfather is indeed evil and not joking. On the off chance that 9 was framed, we still end up jailing and executing 8 tonight. Town cannot lose from this position. We also inform the jailer that there is another alternative. If they are not confident in executing 8, they do not have to do it. They simply hold them for a night in jail. If 8 is indeed innocent, and 11 is somehow the killer, we then do not lose. However, given the fact that the mafioso left and 11 was in jail night 2, it is confirmed that 8 is indeed the evil. We might as well just confirm it one more time by visiting somebody who we know is going to be innocent regardless of what we check them for. This is because the Godfather comes up as innocent. We may now fill in the last slot in our will. And there you have it. We have all the information about every single townie, be it dead or alive. One of the most important things as a sheriff is will management. Keeping your will legible assists with town gaining information. People may indeed look back on your will to confirm things. We thank the jailer for jailing me night 1 and saving us from the executioner. And there we have it, guys. How to sheriff in ranked practice. Hey guys, if you do like my video here, please do remember to press that like button and comment and subscribe if you're feeling generous. I really do appreciate every little bit of support I get. I do want to do more tutorial videos. I hope this has been helpful to somebody out there. Let me know in the comments down below, and stay safe and have fun out there.